we've had former High Court judges on this program only weeks ago, quoting exactly the example that you gave, with this this feeling about a lack of transparency. But Justice Deepak Gupta, where does this confrontation go from here? Because it is rather worrying to see it. We are the world's largest democracy. To see this kind of confrontation between two big arms of our democracy. How do you see this ending?
I think I agree with you. Though I've always said that I always like a little bit of friction between the government and the judiciary. It shouldn't be too well oiled, because then that becomes dangerous.
It's more than a little friction, though.
But this is not just a friction. This is becoming much more than a friction. I agree with you. But having said that, I think things will resolve. I have hope in this collegium which is presently there, that they'll stick to their stand and they'll not be cowed down. Because I have a feeling that the government is just testing waters and seeing, well, will the collegium cow down or the Supreme Court? It doesn't appear to be happening. And somebody will have to step back a little bit. 1 or 2 days back, we saw stepping back by the law minister, but yesterday and today, he's made some other statements. And he's right. I'm not saying that the law minister is entitled to his point of view. Justice Sodhi is entitled to his point of view. I am entitled to my point of view. But if there has to be a different point of view, this shouldn't be a slanging match and in the media. It should not be taking pot shots in the media. If the law minister has any difficulty with the system, he should write to the Chief Justice. He should seek an appointment, or they can both meet, sit together and say, these are the issues we raise, and let's see what has to be, how do we go forward? You see, problem, Nidhi, is that we look at our personal interests. If all of us, whether it be judges, whether it be politicians, whether it be lawyers, if all of us looked what is best for the institution, what is best for the High Court concerned, what is best for the Supreme Court concerned, and merit is taken into consideration, obviously in the context of diversity and giving gender equality a proper place. If you look at all this, I don't think there should be any place for confrontation.
Can I ask you?
But if you look only at merit, the problem becomes when you're not looking at merit and you're looking at other things. Then there is a problem.
If I could ask you a somewhat, how to put it, maybe a sensitive question, which is that is the higher judiciary and the Supreme Court in particular partly to blame for the position it finds itself in today vis-a-vis the government? I'm asking this not just because of the way judges are appointed, but because of this perception that the Supreme Court is not taking up sensitive matters that could make it awkward for the government, whether it's electoral bonds, Article 370, other such cases that should have been settled a long time ago. It took forever for the demonetization verdict to come. There are questions about how a former Chief Justice of India retired and immediately became a Rajya Sabha MP. So has the judiciary...
I'll not get into the law.
No, but I'm not saying specifically this. I'm saying that has the higher judiciary in a way got a little compromised over the last few years, to be very honest, with all due respect?
I won't say compromised, but I've always said this, and I repeat here today, that the Supreme Court has two roles. One is that adjudicator of disputes, which has been doing quite well, but is also a protector of the human rights of citizens. And in my opinion, well, they've lagged behind a little bit or a little more as far as being protector of human rights are concerned. I mean, the issue of the taking away Article 370, why should it hang fire for so many years? It's a small issue as far as it is legally concerned. But one way or the other, once it is decided, it will settle what is happening in Kashmir. Then the other big issue, as far as for me is concerned, as far as Kashmir is concerned, is whether a full-fledged state could be bifurcated into union territories. And you take away the right of statehood from the state. It's like, we have a concept almost like a dual sovereignty. The union is sovereign and the state is sovereign. That is why we have different lists in the constitution. One is the state list, one is the union list, and one is the concurrent list. Now does the union have the power to denude a state of its right and turn it into union territory? That's a very important question. These need to be decided. Habeas corpus petitions pending for years on end. Electoral bonds. I feel the Supreme Court should be deciding these matters, and I have great hope that under the new leadership, Justice Uday Lalit started the process, and I'm sure that under Justice Chandrachud this will move faster and we'll have decisions on these cases.